tuning in. Again, welcome. And this is Design Your Destiny. It's one of my first courses that I'm doing online. So it's a bit nerve-wracking, but it's also a fun thing to have. And I want to ask you, before we get into it, two things that primarily I would like for you to do during this training. Now, this is just lesson one. There are 6 modules in total with Design Your Destiny, and each module has 2 to 3 lessons in it. So there's a lot of ground to cover as we're going to be progressing through this during the next couple of weeks. But during this whole course, during this whole Design Your Destiny, for those who choose to come back and learn even more from this, there are 2 things that I would like to ask you. The first thing is to take your judging part of your mind, your critical faculty, and just silence it temporarily just during the training that we'll be doing here. The reason for that is the critical mind, the conscious faculty, the judging part of your mind basically takes any information that you get and it filters it through your current belief systems, your current judging factors. And that's why if you keep doing what you've been doing, you'll keep getting what you've been getting. And so many people I have found stay stuck in these situations because they're looking for new experiences, and those new experiences they try and weigh up against their current experiences, which means any new experience just basically gets watered down into a current experience, and then people don't get the new growth and the new experiences that they want from it. So what I'm just going to ask you is, first of all, silence the mind during this training and take everything, not just because I say it, but take everything and keep it on hold and see where you can make the connections as we go along. And then the second thing that I would love to ask you during this training is take the information that you'll be gathering from this, take the knowledge that I will be sharing, and actively start practicing and participating in these things that you'll be learning. Actively take this knowledge and start putting it into practice within your own life. Because it's only through action, it's only through practically doing these things that you'll start seeing the results. Because knowing and not doing is not really knowing at all. So it doesn't help just knowing these things logically. You need to get it into your body. You need to actively start doing these things. So the purpose versus passion aspect is a lot of people wonder what their purpose is, and they don't look at their passion. Some look at what they're passionate about, but they don't yet know how to link that passion with their purpose. And that's what this lesson is specifically going to be looking at. The difference between purpose and passion. And we'll also be looking at the difference between hopes, dreams, and what destiny actually is. How do you know what to do with your life? Now, a lot of people have different ideas and different concepts, and knowing what to do with your life is the biggest question that many of us ask. Sooner or later in our lives, we have this thing of what is it all for? Why are we here? What's the meaning of it all? What do I do with my life? And here are some concepts that a lot of people think of when it comes to knowing what to do with your life. Do you just follow in the footsteps of your parents? Your grandfather was a surgeon, your father is a doctor, your mother might be a dentist, and you find yourself going into the medical field. And you just feel like because it's been running for so many generations, then I have to be a doctor. I have to be in the medical field. Some people just want to run with the family business. Some people look at the family business and they are being prepared for taking over the family business. It's now the 3rd or 4th generation in this family business, and you're being taught the ropes on how to take over the family business, how the finer things work. And maybe that's what you are deciding, and you'll see what I mean with deciding, to do with your life. Maybe you're a rebel. Maybe you've got that rebel spirit and you decide that, you know what, I'm going to rebel against, what is expected of me, and I'm going to go the opposite direction. I'm going to go and see the world. Maybe you have this idea that to see the world, you want to become a pilot to fly around, or if you don't have the patience to study to be a pilot, maybe you want to be a steward or stewardess find your way onto the planes or onto the ships maybe and just travel the world and see the world in that way. And the heck with the family business, forget about the footsteps of your parents. You want to see the world maybe. Maybe you've got that adventurous spirit in a different way. Maybe you want to join the ministry movement and travel the world and start teaching people about your beliefs. Maybe you have that caring, compassionate nature and you want to see people succeed. Or like so many of the people out there, and I'm sure everybody here as well, do you just follow the money, right? Do you go with what your heart tells you to do, or do you just follow the money? What is the meaning of life? And these are the questions that we find ourselves asking. What is the meaning of life? Why am I here? What is the purpose of it all? Do I even have to be here? And a lot of people, when they start going into a depressed state, they start for asking themselves, do I even have a purpose? Do I even have a purpose? Am I even supposed to live? Am I not maybe a mistake? Is it not a question of, you know what, I should have died years ago? Do I even have a purpose? Should I even still be around? Maybe I should just end it all. And especially now with the economy taking the knock that it did with lockdown all over the world, not just in our country, a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs are finding themselves in this depressed state. And this depressed state is asking, you know, do I have a purpose? Should I even go on? Is it all about, you know, the money? Is it not just about the money? Is there more important things in life? Am I even on the right track with my life? And because I looked at that aspect, that's why I created and designed this course, Design Your Destiny. Because it is my belief that every single person in this world has a destiny. You have a unique set of gifts, and those gifts that you are uniquely, specifically qualified to do. It brought a quote up within myself that I wanted to share with everyone. And this quote is by Sun Tzu in his book, The Art of War. And this quote of Sun Tzu says, if you know the enemy and you know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. If you know yourself, but you don't know the enemy, every victory gained will also suffer a defeat. And lastly, if you don't know neither, or if you know neither yourself nor the enemy, you will succumb in every battle. Now, yes, I'm talking about war and I'm talking about destiny and Tony, where is all this stuff coming together, right? Well, this specific quote from Sun Tzu in The Art of War basically comes down to, if you have the idea that life is against you, that life and everyone in it is the enemy, then fair enough. A lot of people have that concept, has that idea. They have that idea that, you know what, every day is a battle, every day is a fight. I'm in war every day. I need to go out there. And so many people say, keep fighting the good fight. And it's an interesting terminology that they use because it betrays the thinking behind it. It betrays the thinking that, you know what, life is a battle, life is a war. I need to go to war out there. Even in business, it's like a war zone. I need to go out there and I need to win. I need to gather. I need to destroy my enemies. I need to destroy the opposition because that's the only way that I will win. Now, if that works for you, then great. Do what works for you. I'm not here to tell you what you're currently doing is wrong, because who am I to decide what's right and what's wrong? Right and wrong is merely based on perception and opinion. When I talk about knowing yourself and knowing the enemy, it comes down to the enemy or life. It's all about your perception of life. What do you see life as? And those perceptions that you have towards life also is perception, is projection. In other words, before I can project and look at life in a specific way, I need to first cultivate a perception of myself. I first need to see where I come from and how I see myself. And based on how I see myself and what I expect of myself, that's then what I project to the world out there. So if you don't know the enemy, the world out there, and you don't know yourself, You're going to fall in every battle. You're going to fall in every challenge that comes across your way. So I want to talk a bit more about hopes, dreams, and destiny. Now, hopes, a lot of people say, oh, I hope so. I hope, for instance, if you're sitting here right now, you might be hoping that you find some value in this course. Oh, Tony, I hope what you're telling me is true. I hope that after going through this, that there's some hope for me in the world. Now, hope is a highly emotionally motivated state where your emotions, I want you to close your eyes for a moment. And I want you to do this experiment with me. I want you to imagine that you are walking into your home. It's the middle of the night, you got home, and it's pitch black inside the room. Okay? So it's pitch black, and you're walking into your house. And as you're walking into your house or you're walking into your room, and you can't even see your hand in front of your face, and you hear a noise inside. And this noise that you hear inside, you know shouldn't be there. It sounds like someone is scuffling inside your home. It sounds like there's somebody there. And you know that there's not supposed to be someone there. Okay? So as you hear this, there's a movement or something inside there, you start feeling these emotions, right? Someone's not supposed to be there. Now, at the same time, you also know in the back of your mind that what you just need to do, you need to switch a light on. Because the moment you switch that light on, then you'll be able to see. You'll be able to see, is it an intruder? Is it somebody you know? Is it maybe the dog that got into the house? What exactly is happening? What exactly is occurring? And then you'll know, based on what you see, how to react. Do you call the police? Do you run away? Do you stand and fight? Or if it's somebody that you love, like your dog or a family member or somebody that you didn't know was there, then you know you can relax about it. Now, if that's the scenario, I want you to take the scenario, and you can open your eyes if you want, or you can keep them closed, it's up to you. And I want you to imagine reaching for that light switch in the scenario, and I want you to hope. I want you to hope that the light goes on. You don't know if maybe Eskom put the power off and it's load shedding, but in this scenario, having the light is your safe space. Having the light there will allow you to react in a specific manner. Another way is you need to actively start participating in your own development. Just like I said, by doing things, you're going to get feedback. If you just learn these things logically, we already looked at how the logical mind interjects doubts into the passion emotions, right? So if you just learn things logically and you're just book smart, it's not going to get you to where you want to go, because you'll still end up only living in your head, only living in your mind, and not getting into your passion, not getting into your heart, not start living that passion, getting the feedback to help you to get your life straight and start moving towards where you want to be. So those are a few ways for you to actively start creating certainty in your life. And by creating certainty in your life, you're going to stop hoping for things and you're going to start knowing, because you know that you have the experience. You've done your research, because we have this comparative mindset. Something is either this or it's that. Something is either this or it's that. It's not this and that. A lot of people think in the mentality of is this or that, when in actuality, things only have the meaning that we give it. But again, I'm getting ahead of myself. So it's basically more like this. Spirit communicates things through to the mind. The mind then goes through a comparative assessment, a comparative judgment, and through that, it communicates the information that's left over through to your will, to your conscious mind. And based on your conscious decisions, your willpower, then you begin to behave in a specific manner. And if you want to make a permanent, lasting change, you're not going to do it in your behavior. That somebody up there, or in some cases, somebody down there is just, interfering in my life. They're pulling the strings and I'm not in control. The reason why so many people feel, and I'm not saying that they're not, but they're feeling that they're not in control, is because they give their power away. Now, we give our power away by stop taking responsibility for things in our life. Now, you are the creator of the outcomes means that you're in the driver's seat. You are sitting in the driver's seat. You get to choose based on the choices that you make where your life goes. And remember, sometimes you need to break down before you can break through. You need to break down the limiting beliefs. You need to break down the judgments that you've placed on yourself. You need to take responsibility. Take your power back. Give yourself the ability to respond. And from that, you can start changing your focus, changing your mindset, and then that's going to filter through into where you're going in your life. So that's where I'm going to stop this course for today, because I know I've been yapping for quite a lot, and I thank you all for hearing me and tuning into this.